Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is BNHA Second Generation Chapter 34, and this one is titled Mission Preps. Chi's voice came out a lot more wobbly than he was expecting it to, and he had to cough and clear his throat before trying again. Yeah, I'm ready, he huffed in a small voice, looking away. Hiyoko smirked and stepped back, and then took to the air again, hovering just off the roof. Focus, Bakugo. Don't let words cloud your judgment. You got into the Hero UA course. You know your strengths. Use them. Chi scowled, but his whole body was light and alert, and Hiyoko could see the subtle shift in attitude. You gonna move first, or shall I? Hiyoko teased, testing Chi. Chi didn't advance, but stepped back instead. This surprised Hiyoko, who wasn't expecting Chi to back down, and it threw him for a second. Subconsciously, he floated forwards a little, and that's when Chi threw himself at Hiyoko, suddenly, diving low and tackling Hiyoko's legs. The winged hero shot up into the air, and Chi let go and landed on his feet. His attack wasn't designed to take Hiyoko down, but more to make him move. How the hell am I supposed to take on a winged opponent? Chi thought as he waited for Hiyoko to retaliate. It only took a second for Hiyoko to turn mid-air and dive back down to him, as he neared, Chi activated his quirk and burst into flames, thwarting Hiyoko's potential next attack. The winged one flicked his wings open and pulled back so as not to get scorched by the blonde's quirk, and Chi shot an arm out and grabbed Hiyoko's leg, punching it a few times before letting go. If I can disable his legs, that might help, Chi thought, dropping back down and keeping both eyes on his opponent. As Hiyoko swooped, Chi dropped to the ground on his back and spun, breakdance style, while activating his quirk to create a spinning firecracker, and once Hiyoko was within reach, Chi used his arms to push up off the ground and do a kip-up, using the propulsion to propel his flames at Hiyoko and catch the lower portion of his feathers. The winged one shot up and away to avoid more damage, but then smirked as he turned mid-air to look down at Chi. Well done, he called down to his student. I'll concede for now. Chi was covered in sweat, which was helping his quirk a lot, but the rest of him was tuckered out. Hiyoko alighted on the rooftop again and walked calmly towards Chi, extending his hand for a handshake. You don't always have to incapacitate an opponent, Hiyoko said. Even just doing a little damage will be enough to set them back, like what you did to me. Chi nodded. Good work for today. Tomorrow we'll work on hand-to-hand combat, Hiyoko said. And remember to keep your cool. You're at your peak when you're calm. Chi nodded again, his chest rising and falling rapidly as he struggled to catch his breath. Your homework today, aside from what I just told you, is to come up with a backstory and an alias for the mission on Friday. Chi nodded again and turned to go. Hiyoko watched him leave and shook his head with a soft smile on his face. I wonder if any of that went in, or if he's just seething inside. Chi walked down the stairs to the locker area to get his bag, his mind going over everything that had just happened. I'm at my best when I'm calm, huh? He thought as he picked up his bag and left the building to head home. It was early Thursday morning when everyone arrived at the agency building. Are you ready for the interview today? Kana signed as he entered Hiyoko's office. Definitely, Hiyoko replied with a bright smile and a little wiggle of his wings. Hi Condor and Seismic Kana, Ginny called brightly as she bounded through the door. My alias name will be Rana. Well, good morning, Rana. I hope you're ready for disguised discussion with Brian and Jasmine today. I'll ring the manager of Rare Finds soon and let him know what our plans are. Soshi and Chi followed Jinsei into the room and nodded their greetings to the two pro-heroes before sitting. Kana and I will have an interview today with Heroes Daily, so while Brian and Jasmine are here, we'll be out, but we'll be back as soon as possible, Hiyoko said to the students. Oh, I'm so excited to watch that later. I'll catch it on the Internet Archives, Ginny said excitedly, clapping her hands together. Hiyoko gave her a polite smile. Just then there was a rap-a-tap-tap on the door, and Brian stepped in, flicking one hand up as he popped a hip out. Oh hey, Bryce here, he announced loudly. As he walked into the room further, Jasmine followed in behind, pulling her giant makeup set behind her. Well, looks like you're in good hands, Hiyoko said as he let Brian do his usual kiss to both cheeks as greeting. Honey Nuggy, don't you even stress about it. You leave these beautiful babies with me and I'll make them shine brighter than day. Bri, the point of this exercise is to disguise them so they don't stand out, Hiyoko said with a bit of hesitancy in his voice. Boo-boo, I got you. Now run along with your beautiful boyfriend and I'll do my thing, he said, snapping his fingers flamboyantly before spinning to the students and clapping his hands together with excitement. Hiyoko quickly sidled up to Jasmine and ducked his head to her ear to whisper his concerns to her. "Please keep an eye on Brian. This is supposed to be an undercover mission," he begged softly. "I'll make sure he doesn't get out of hand," Jasmine whispered back in her deep voice, giving him a wink with her perfectly make-upped eye. "Thank you," Hiyoko whispered gratefully as he stepped back and looked over at Kana. "Ready to go, babe?" Kana blushed and nodded and then waved to the students and followed Hiyoko to the door. "Are you nervous?" Hiyoko asked Kana as they walked into the hallway together. "A little," Kana signed with a nervous smile. "Don't be. I'm with you," Hiyoko replied, reaching for Kana's hand and holding it in his. They got to the elevator and stepped inside, letting the doors close softly behind them. The minute they were alone, Hiyoko turned and kissed Kana on the cheek, and then as Kana turned his head towards him, he kissed his lips, showing and sharing his love for his boyfriend through a beautiful embrace in the privacy of the small lift. Such cute boyfriends. Stay tuned for chapter 35 coming tomorrow.